So I have a feeling we haven't seen the end of this entire Twitter fight. Joining us is Trump supporter Gina Loudon and Politico's Ben Schreckinger. Thank you guys both for joining us. Gina, I'll start with you. Your reactions to Donald Trump's comments about 9/11.
I still think it's just amazing that a total outsider like Donald Trump has actually almost marginalized the establishment GOP's pick for president. And I think that's what this is all about. And I think this is about looking forward and preventing the next 9/11 tragedy. And if we can do that by saving even one American life, I think that that's the direction that both candidates should be discussing.
Do you think Donald Trump could have done better, Gina, than George W.?
Since some of the attackers were illegals and Donald Trump has vowed to take care of the illegal problem in America, I don't doubt that at least part of the tragedy could be prevented, at least in the future.
Ben, Trump obviously attacking Jeb Bush about his brother's record, putting him on the offense. You think this is a smart political strategy on his behalf?
I think that going after Jeb has so far worked well for Donald. I think that the more that time Jeb Bush spends defending his brother's record, talking about his brother's administration, the less time Jeb has to be on message about his vision for his presidency. I do think that Jeb's counterpunch was effective too. That ad that he displayed was not about George W. Bush. It was about Donald Trump pointing to his lack of experience, making a case for a sort of lack of seriousness there. So I think that Donald is on point with this line of attack, but Jeb may have found an effective counterpunch.
But do you think Jeb should be separating himself from his brother, Ben, or should he be aligning himself and saying that he did a good job? Because there's a lot of people out there that don't think George W. Bush did a good job during that period of time.
That's a good question. You know, on Saturday, Jeb was at a mega church in Texas for a Republican confab, and he was being defended by the pastors there. That got a great reaction from the crowd, from one of the pastors telling Jeb that his brother did keep the country safe after 9/11. But I do think that as long as the conversation is about George W. Bush, that's not where Jeb wants to be. And I think that when you start talking about George W. Bush and national security, the conversation quickly turns from 9/11 to Iraq. And that's a place that Jeb really does not want to be.
Right. Gina, whether or not someone thinks that Donald Trump has a point, why not follow up his statements with actual strategy? Instead of just saying point blank, hey, I'm good on immigration, believe me, why not follow it up with an actual strategy as to how it was he would have kept this country safe during that time?
Well, Donald Trump has put out an entire position paper on his website that anybody can read, and it's very specific, and it goes into great detail as to what he plans to do to address the illegal immigration crisis in this country, and even how he believes it will prevent crimes going forward. You know, the people the families, as they mourn this whole 9/11 and their lost family members, I bet they would love to think that a couple of the people who participated in 9/11 who were illegal had been told, no, you can't come into this country. It's not worth one American life.
Well, we certainly think that this fight is not going to go away, and it might just get louder over the next year or so. Gina, Ben, thank you guys both for joining us.
Thanks.